Hello folks, this is Steve AB4L. I'm in Ramseur. There's Scott's Appliance and Repair. I'm not promoting anything, I'm not recommending anything. Get your washer dryer. Refurbished. Used. Still good. See the banana plants? Isn't it beautiful? Auctions. Auctions. Just showing you what's out here. Auction house and Harmony Baptist Church with this big huge cemetery, which suggests to me that they've been here a long time. Oh, wait a minute, they have a lot of land, but they don't have any graves. So they're a new church, relatively speaking, for when this area was settled. Being careful about people checking their mail. Now I have a reason why I'm coming out on this beautiful country road. So you got to be patient with me. I want you to see that I'm going out into the sticks. Alright? And we had some torrential rain yesterday, and the grass is loving it. The trees are deep. Now this is an auxiliary fire station, and I've actually met some people who live near it. I met them because they were flying a drone that he had gotten from his kids, and he got it stuck up in a tree down by the Deep River Bridge in Riverside Park. And I'm going to admit it, I went and I got my fishing rods. I still remember where they are. And I was able to get it down for him. It was about 50 feet up. Now, I want you to see where we are. I'm going to turn left. I'm going to turn left. I was out here the other day. So the Parks Crossroad Christian Church is 2 miles down the road. I've been there to get some of their, when they have some of their eat special things, like the barbecue stuff, but they do other things. This is beautiful. Now what is this crop? To the left, there's no traffic. Those are soybeans. They're coming along fine. The question is, what's this? No, it's not corn. What is it? What is it? Now there's one corn plant way down there sticking way up. And there's another one see this tall one here with its neck way up, but you see beyond it there's a corn plant sticking up. So they have different seasons to maturity. Now I'm going to turn that off, and I'm going to pick up my camera, and I'm going to see if it'll start. And it did. So I'm going to get out. Be patient with me. Take the key out. Be patient with me. There we go. Excuse me for showing you the sky. What is this? It's not corn. That's a corn plant over there. Let's see how close I can get. I'm okay. Yeah, I'm okay. So what is it? And it's ripening. It's got a way to go yet. What is it? See, I was just shopping, and that was my phone telling me, my bank telling me. Now, do you see how there are some that they stick up? See how this one sticks way up in comparison to this one? What is this? Now, there's an insect right there on the leaf, and the leaf looks like corn, doesn't it? But it's not corn. So I keep asking you, what is it? And yes, those are the seeds that will be harvested, and it's called sorghum bicolor. Sorghum bicolor. You see how fairly uniform the heights are? And then you got this guy, right? And again, that's soybeans, completely different kind of plant. There was corn in the crop rotation in this field, and if you look further out, you'll see corn plants here and there, but this is a sorghum plant field. Sorghum for grain. Okay? And I haven't seen sorghum in a while. I saw it when I was going by the other day, and I thought I got to come back with my camera and show them this beautiful stuff. No, it is not corn. It's sorghum. Sorghum bicolor. Okay, I've run my mouth enough. And, oh, yeah, there's one more thought. Why are a few of them just sticking so far up and not like the rest? And the answer is the same thing with open pollinated populations of corn. The ones we normally see are hybrids. They're from two different inbred plants, held separately in different breeding populations. But farmers in America, when they began to really develop corn, they didn't know about hybridization and stuff. And they developed open pollinated varieties. And then they selected in them, and the varieties, the populations became fairly uniform, except every now and then there would be something that just, it's got to be different and it sticks up. And the answer is, this sorghum, I believe, is from a similar kind of village open pollinated. Yes, it's from an actual commercial company, but I'll bet you this is an open pollinated population. And it is not a hybrid. So I'll have to look that up when I get home. But I haven't seen a sorghum field in, I don't know, more than 25 years that I can remember. So enjoy. Pardon me for running my mouth. I'm an old maize guy. Yeah, I am. I've pollinated more ears of corn than you will ever eat in your life. Yes, and harvested them. Okay, let me get in. I have to run this all the way to when I get in so I can overlap this when I make the video. Here's the sorghum. Perfect. Okay, perfect. Now I'll turn around, we'll get out of here. Yeah. I'm an Aggie. I may have grown up in a town, but my education and a lot of my work experience, especially in Israel, is agriculture. Irrigation systems for, oh, wait a minute. We're getting an extra little treat. See the hoses on the spools drawn by tractors? Now this is a commercial farm operation. They're really into it. Why would they have big hoses? I was just talking about irrigation. Why would they have big hoses on spools like that? Is it possible that they irrigate some of their stuff when needed? Or do they fill farm ponds from rivers? Don't know. But I used to, all right, you have to, in Israel, in northern Israel, it rains in the summer, excuse me, in the winter, but by the 1st of April until late November or early December, there's no rain whatsoever. So how do you grow corn? How do you grow forage? How do you grow anything? Melons. How do you grow anything if there's no rain? And the answer is irrigation systems. So early on in the state of Israel, they built a national water pipeline that ran from the Sea of Galilee eastward toward Haifa and then south all the way to the northern Negev. And the idea was that you would be, there's tobacco to the right. I'll bet you that's tobacco to the right. Yeah, that's tobacco. And there's more, that's the sorghum field. Look at how big the sorghum field is. Now these guys do crop rotation. Sorghum is apparently in their rotation. You usually want to rotate 3 crops. So they're going to have soybeans, sorghum, and a 3rd crop. Faith Baptist Church is somewhere here. I haven't been out this way in a long time. Hang on. Let's Faith Baptist Church Christian School. Oh, look at this. It happens. Oh, I didn't know this was out here. This is beautiful. Excuse me for going on and on. So this is the Faith Baptist Church on Greenfield Street. I'm on Parkwood. I'm not going to get down the gravel road. And there's a school bus there, or a Sunday school bus. And it looks like they have their own, I'm going to call it charter school. That's a guess. Beautiful. Beautiful. And look at that hydrant. That hydrant is meant to be hooked up to fairly regularly because it's an old hydrant with a special adapter for a quick connect. Yes, it is. And why would they do that? Because if there's a fire out here and the tanker runs out of water, they've got to come and somewhere nearby where there's a pond and pump more water into the tanker. And that connector, I'll bet you anything, is for that. The one I showed you there, the brass one. Boy, we're seeing all kinds of stuff out here, aren't we? There's corn to the right. That's not sorghum. Okay. I've been having fun. I love the countryside. Just taking you on a little sorghum tour because I'd seen it ahead. There's a farm pond over to the right. Now watch what this guy's doing. I'm not going fast enough. I'm not going fast enough. 45 miles an hour is not fast enough. Steve A. before you, just enjoying the Piedmont on this hot summer day, saying see you at 73.